Greetings, one and all. Welcome back once again to the cave. It's been a little while because it's been a bit longer than a week, hasn't it, boys? Because obviously we're a little early last week.
We were talking Zelda notes last week in anticipation of the Switch 2 releasing.
Ah, yes, the Switch 2. You might have heard of that. It's come out since the last Cave Boys video, and the Cave Boys, well, at least 66.66 recurring percent has been playing. But today, rather than talking about Switch, and rather than talking about Zelda directly, we thought we'd talk about you at home. Yes, you little screen-dwelling cretins.
You little goblins.
Yes, we're looking at you today as we're looking at some of the most hilarious and amusing Zelda comments. Just before we jump into today's video, me and the fellow Cave Boys would like to shout out each and every one of our YouTube members. So we'd like to say a big thank you to Katala the Great, of course, our number one, our very first member, of course.
Thank you indeed.
Snow Elf.
Thank
Big
you.
thank you to Snow Elf. I believe, I might be wrong, I think Snow Elf is an enjoyer of the Zinc content. A very rare species, but yes, an enjoyer of my content, so yes, a big thank you to you. A fan of Zelda, very apt name.
Thank you.
Brilliant name.
Of course.
Good name.
Good name.
Likewise, Xenodorf or Xenodorf.
Yeah.
Yes, big thank you.
Thank you
to you.
indeed.
Shika cake, that's the best kind of cake there is.
Of course.
Now, when you say shika cake, are you referring to like the baking of a cake, or are you talking about the gyat? I am interested to know. Please do comment below. Big pug. And then Tristan YouTube bots. To each and every one of you of the members, would like to thank you.
Thank you
like I
very
said,
much.
you can join us down below if you'd like to. Yes, we have been over the last week. We've been mindful that whenever we watch a Zelda video, to note down any comments that particularly amuse us. We figured it might spark some interesting conversations and debates, and maybe even just a little bit of hilarity relating to The Legend of Zelda. So, to kick us off, I believe that Adam is going to take us through our first comment today. What have we got, Adam?
We have got a comment from our Copium video from just a couple of weeks ago. It comes from Basket Chase, and they said, Zelda can't even be bothered to build off the lore from any of their previous games. And this is the part I particularly love, and I think we'll have some stuff to say about this. They're like a fancy version of Pokemon when it comes to giving their fans the bare minimum and the fans pretending it's a feast. I loved this comment so much that I just had to bring it up to you boys, especially since we're all, at least a little bit of Pokemon fans, if not more.
Real and valid. So Zelda can't even be bothered to build off the lore from any of their previous games. To be fair, and I'm the first one to bash Nintendo for being lazy or whatever. I think it is more of a create a different story rather than piggyback off the last kind of thing, rather than do we have to? And I think if it is out of laziness, I think it comes down to just not wanting to maybe pigeonhole themselves too much, because if you do commit to an absolute timeline, an absolute canon, then it does limit you somewhat.
Yeah,
and
sure.
you could argue that that breeds things like I don't know, like your Warhammers and whatever, where you've got like a spine made of adamantium when it comes to the actual story behind the IP. But yeah, I think it's more of a case of not being held back. But yeah, that's slightly turning again, like we are today. That's kind of turning it around on the fans and saying, when it comes to, they will get the bare minimum and pretend it's a feast.
Yeah.
That's very real.
To be fair, I was going to say, it is nice that they said a fancy version of Pokemon, because if Zelda was anything like Pokemon, Jesus fuck, we would be playing at 10 FPS.
Oh, God.
In some ways, the fans pretending it's a feast for the bare minimum. I'm not saying Zelda Notes is the bare minimum, but I get that feeling with that almost, because it's a small thing at the end of the day. I think it's almost like sometimes fans know how to make it a feast rather than treat it like a feast. I feel like fans are just I feel like this word's going to be debatable, but I feel like fans can be very appreciative of the bare minimum and turn it into a feast.
At what point, does the humble beggar being handed, a half-eaten, mouldy piece of bread, at what point does that person just become a vulture who is just like, oh, they see a little bit of something, it might be dead, it might not be as good as it used to be, but they'll try eat it up, at what point do we cross that line? Because the thing is, this is kind of playing into what I was talking about the other day. Like, I understand wanting to appreciate something even if even if it's maybe not quite what you expected. But as a fandom, if you collectively start doing that, you collectively start losing standards, and then Nintendo sort of look at everyone. They see it the collective, they see the collective consciousness that is the fan base, and they say like, oh well, they're not complaining. I mean, there's not riots in the streets. People don't have pitchforks. Everyone seems all right. So I guess this is fine. But the second that you say, maybe this isn't quite enough. Maybe maybe I'll just kind of wait, hold it out till we get something good. I don't know, any number of things.
Yeah.
Like I say, then you start to set standards, and then there's a bit of communication between the fans and the makers. There's like, pressure makes diamonds.
Yeah, I mean, like, we shouldn't stay on this comment for too much longer, but going back to the older, more traditional Zelda games, it's like a big reason why a lot of those games made big changes between entries is because of fan outcry.
Yeah.
Wind Waker to Twilight Princess, even just Majora's Mask to Wind Waker. Oh, it's different. I want something different now. And then Wind Waker, which was like as different as it could get. Even Twilight Princess to Skyward Sword, it was like, no, it's too realistic. They were like, okay, we're gonna go middle of the road. We'll go Skyward Sword. How about that? And then everyone complained about it being too linear. And then Breath of the Wild, and of course Tears of the Kingdom. I don't feel like there was ever going to be a way that they could big change it in the same world like they did between like Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask. I do think that the Zelda franchise has like a much bigger like ceiling than like the Pokemon franchise in recent years.
I was going to say, to go back to Pokemon,
yeah,
obviously, because the thing is, I am a Pokemon boy, or at least I'm an old school Pokemon boy. I'm a Gen 3 boy myself.
Yeah. Gen 3, 4.
Yeah. I played up until... I've played every game pretty much, actually.
Yeah.
Like, does anyone celebrate Scarlet and Violet? Like...
I think, to be fair, weirdly enough, I think in the last week since the Switch 2 came out, actually yes, but that's purely because the game actually runs like a video game now, like it's 60 FPS. And like, but I will say the story to Scarlet and Violet is far, far better than it was, in my opinion, in Sun and Moon and in Sword and Shield. But it's weird because Pokemon are making little changes over time too. It's a whole thing. Because, like, yeah, Pokemon fans are acting like everything's a feast, but then obviously with Zelda there is a much different, a big difference in quality, because Zelda is like, I'd say it's like the premier Nintendo series. So it needs to be good. I don't know, it's a weird one. I don't entirely know if I agree with the comment, but I don't disagree either.
I like the comment.
It's a big, it's a thinker.
Good comment.
Thank you, Basket Chase.
Take it in a little bit of a different direction this time. Something a little more on the positive side, shall we say. Okay. There is multiple based points in this comment, and it's from Stu NWT, and it reads, Jesus Christ, y'all are good looking. Damn. That's the first part. That is the first part. Based as fuck. We're all very good looking, we must say.
Yes. I've got such greasy hair.
Well, okay, maybe Ed's not in that anymore. This comment was a little while ago, because this was on our Remakes video, I should have said, actually. So, which was a little while ago.
Yeah, that was a while ago, yeah.
Yeah, that was back when Ed was still looking fine. The rest of the comment. Also, A Link to the Past remains the best Zelda. Another base take. But that's not all. Zelda 2 needs a remake. And the annoyingly cutesy graphics of Link's Awakening and Echoes of Wisdom. And not the annoying cutesy graphics. They want something different. There is so many base takes.
Well, first of all, unfortunately, it's going to be a long-ass time before we get another remake of Link's Awakening. I get what you mean, but yeah, unfortunately, that's going to be a long way away. Because the thing is, even if that does come, I think that's actually more of a sad indictment of, as to what the Zelda team are spending their time doing. In regards to the other two, Calls Me Handsome says Link to the Past is the best Zelda game. I mean, give me a number. Like, where are you? Let's hook up.
Give me a number.
We've got
give me
a
an
date
address.
to go on.
ASL.
I really brought this comment up for Johnny, really.
Yeah, unfortunately, Ed fell off since that comment. But, I mean, apart from that, outstanding. Yeah, Stu NWT. Zelda 2 needs a remake.
Yes, Zelda 2 remake is a big one. Yeah, that's good.
I'm totally on board with the don't do it in the cutesy graphics of Link's Awakening and Echoes of Wisdom. It worked for those games, totally.
Yeah.
But
because
don't do
at the
Zelda
moment,
2 in
right?
that.
At the moment, even in the kind of hardcore Zelda scene, people like to say that they don't like Zelda 2 because of the way that it looks, or the fact that it's the black sheep of the Zelda No, the reason most people don't play it is because it's really fucking difficult.
Yeah, it's so difficult.
If they give it a facelift, yeah, I'd like to see what excuse they come up with then. As long as they don't easify it, you know.
Don't make it easy.
Don't make it easy. Like, leave it as hard as it was, but just make it look a little prettier. Sure, I'm down with that. I'd love that.
You see, that sort of remake, I always like to imagine like a 3D remake of like a Zelda 2 or something like that. It'd be crazy. It'd be stupid, realistically, but it'd be cool.
It could be what brings people to come round to that game, but at the same time, is it really the same game if it goes 3D? I think that's where the debate comes in for that.
So this was a
I love these comments.
Right, this is a comment on an Echoes of Wisdom video. I'm pretty sure it was when it was first announced, it looks like.
So this wasn't on one of our videos?
No, this was on my video.
If it was, I was gonna say he did the meme that it's 2.5D actually. It's not 3D, it's not 2D, it's 2.5.
It's not 2D, it's 3D graphics with a top-down view. 2D is flat like a side-scroller. Why is it? Yeah, 2D is flat like a side-scroller. 2D is flat. Why is a side-scroller the only one that's flat?
I mean, if that doesn't say, Hyrule Warriors Enjoy, I don't know what does.
I like saying top-down more than like a 2D or a 2.5D nowadays, but I think that's just because of how comments have melded me. When you're just like quickly speaking about a game, you don't want to take up, especially as a content creator, you don't want to take up people's time by saying top-down. It's so much longer than just going 2D Zelda game.
And the thing is, everyone knows what you mean when you say 2D.
Yeah, exactly.
Everyone knows what it means. You're just being obtuse.
The people who say it aren't exactly wrong, but they are annoying.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, you can be right and be an asshole. Like that's my entire career. So it goes. But boys, if I could derail us,
yes,
with this comment. So I will give a bit of an explanation, don't worry. It goes as follows. For many years, I followed cryptozoology pretty closely. Okay, so first of all, I actually had to look that up because I was like, what the fuck is cryptozoology? It sounds like the study of like chimpanzees' Bitcoin wallets, but apparently that's not the case. And it turns out, right, cryptozoology is the search for and study of animals whose existence or survival is disputed or unsubstantiated, such as the Loch Ness Monster and the Yeti. So if I could continue. For many years, I followed cryptozoology pretty closely. I believe it was in 2012 when the cryptid colossal squid was finally officially documented. This is bigger than the giant squid by body mass and is surprisingly different in shape. The giant squid still gets the press, but I got to experience the moment when the colossal squid moved out of the realm of fantasy and into reality.
What the?
Okay, but boys, now you might be wondering at this point, okay, brilliant, what on earth, relevance does this hold to Zelda? The answer is absolutely nothing. This was left under one of videos. I was watching it recently and I went into the comments to get a bit of context. I saw this, and the thing is, he didn't mention the colossal nor the giant squid in the video.
Interesting.
So basically, some dude was just watching like a random Zelda theory, spurred out and just started talking about squids.
Interesting.
You know what? You should comment this guy, by the way. He has the most tism. He has the most.
A guy enters a niche corner of YouTube, which is, Zelda Tube. He then goes to a niche corner of Zelda Tube, which is specific Zelda theories, and then immediately begins talking about a different niche topic. I mean, this guy doesn't play by the rules, and I got love for that.
It's Zelda Tube heritage.
I like it.
This is great.
I just had to, I had to share that.
It's funny because I almost want to say it's a spam comment, but it just isn't. Like, there's nothing that they're advertising.
Like I say, I will have to blur his name, but like, it's a normal name. Like, it doesn't appear to be a troll comment. Like, it's not just a random. Yeah. This guy just legitimately wanted to talk about squids. You gotta love it.
Hey,
right,
man
boys,
has his interests.
Boys, someone get us back on track.
Oh, I tell you, I have got a brilliant comment, and it is the most Cave Boys coded comment you could ask for.
Okay.
I hope you both know where this is going.
I know
it
exactly
is the theme of every Cave Boys video. It somehow comes up. We are, of course, going to bring up Twilight Princess.
Oh,
Who said the thing? Who said Twilight Princess?
This comes from NTV440, what a name. And this was on our Zelda movie video. It doesn't really hold much relevance to the movie part, but this comment encapsulates what our channel is really all about. And it reads,
Okay.
You guys, and I agree with this by the way, you guys should just dedicate your channel to Twilight Princess, because that's all I ever hear in these videos. And honestly, I mean, I don't think it's that out there. I think we should just make a Twilight Princess channel.
Me too.
Am I right in saying, though, you know, there's plenty of Zelda tubers out there. Is there any Zelda tubers that are just single Zelda game
That's
Zelda
a really
tubers?
good I mean, I guess
don't
technically,
think
like,
so.
speedrunners for, like, Breath of the Wild Tears of the
That's
Kingdom,
what I was
right?
thinking.
Yeah,
Maybe
well,
like
yeah,
speedrunners.
yeah,
That's
I mean,
different. It's different. It's not like theory
Yeah,
videos and stuff.
more like the theory side of
Yeah.
YouTube. Is there any YouTubers that just focus on one game? I mean, I guess there might be some new up-and-comers that only talk about the new games, but
maybe some
I
of,
can't
like,
think of one off the top of my head.
I can't think of any like theory lore channels, but maybe some like the animating channels. Some of them focus on specific games for a while anyway.
So maybe we could become the first single Zelda game Zelda channel.
Thank you so much, NTV440, for this
We're changing the channel name.
Amazing comment.
Hit us with something, Ed.
I can drop another one in here. This is also on that One Echoes of Wisdom video. This one cut me a lot of flack.
Come on, bro. Have a glass of positivity. Classic Weeb was worried about new Zelda game. Just be happy. Oh my god.
Right,
Just
okay,
be happy,
now,
bro.
Now, I would like to
Yes.
now tell
Oh my
you
God.
the name of this video. Echoes of Wisdom looks like a perfect game, but I'm worried. It looks like a perfect
Wow.
game. Bro, have a glass of
Harsh
positivity.
criticism there.
Have a glass
Did
of
she-
positivity.
Have a glass
They
of
said they
positivity,
no,
boys.
they didn't even say they were worried. They said they might be. That's not even a
Yeah,
not even
actually.
said. No, and the thing is, right? Okay, you know, again, we can't. I can't mention the name of the person, but who's commented this to ask for a glass of positivity from the Zelda community. This is one of the most toxically positive communities in the world. You know, to call you a weeb as well. That seems like a.
I've only
that seems
watched
like a
Attack
bad-
on
you'd
Titan.
think-
It's a bit mean.
Well, I mean, you'd think if you were a weeb, you'd be more inclined to be positive about it. I don't know, maybe that's just me.
True.
Just be happy. But, like, I get these comments on my videos all the time.
Yeah.
I don't think this is the right approach. You just need to be happy. You just need to be positive.
Just live a little,
Just
bro.
ignore anything that you don't like and just pretend like you like it, and then everything's okay. It's like, no,
Yeah, it's just an
we're not
opinion.
6 anymore.
That's like half the reason why we made the Cave Boys, right? It's like we all have pretty different opinions on a lot of things.
Yeah.
So
Oh, yeah.
we challenge
from
each
Twilight
other's
Princess.
opinions, and obviously most of the time we're not going to budge on opinions, but we do challenge each other's opinions, and it makes for fun content.
Yeah.
That's like the whole point.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because that's that is a dynamic that is currently missing from Zelda. Is that
Definitely.
you know the I appreciate where you're coming from, but here's my idea. No, it's usually that I can't believe you said that.
Yeah, exactly. Because the thing is, the Zelda community's never been so massive, and I think that mixed with the old games with the new games, it's so easy to be. I mean, it was supposed to be a whole video by itself, but it's so easy to be toxically positive, but also then toxically negative. And it's just about meeting in the middle and just being like, I appreciate your opinion. This is my opinion, and not saying it in a shitty tone.
Having a discussion.
Never heard of it.
We might speak in Ooga Booga, but we still be speaking.
Ooga booga.
Ooga Booga indeed. Right, boys, dropping in a new comment. Here we go. So this was left under a video talking about the Zelda timeline. We all know about the Zelda timeline. Incredibly complicated. You know, is there a one true timeline? Does it exist? You know, are Zelda games canon? Actually, Adam, you were mentioning just the other day actually that in the upcoming or the next mainline game, you'd like to see them start to build bridges between the games.
Indeed.
Boys, I'm here to tell you that we don't need this anymore, because if I read the comment, it says simply, the simple solution is to make Hyrule Warriors canon. There we go. All of those fissures, you know, all of the cracks, all of those, you know, all the missing continuity, everything. Like, don't you realize, boys, all of those tenuous ties between the games, all of the fractures, everything could be solved if we simply make Hyrule Warriors canon.
I mean, it's been staring
If
us in the
Terraco
face,
is
really.
real, you know, if Terraco is real, everything makes sense.
Everything, because we can time travel anywhere we want. Let's go!
Terraco is the timeline.
He is. Oh my god, you're right. We figured it out.
But yeah, turns out all of the issues with the timeline can simply be cured with Hyrule Warriors. Who would have thought? Sorry, this was the comment that I was going to piggyback onto your other one. This is the one I intended. Finally, a video about a game worth talking about. This was left 2 months ago. under a video talking about the about the timeline. Where has this person been? Like, I'm sorry, they've somehow managed to conveniently ignore the entirety of Zelda Tube. They come in on one timeline video and they're like, "Hey, finally, someone's talking about Zelda, boy. It sure would be good if people started talking about Zelda more." Like,
God.
you know, as if there isn't a million channels dedicated to Zelda.
They've got one hell of a backlog to watch.
Do we know whose timeline video it was, by any chance? Just so I've got a grasp on this, because if it wasn't a Zeltic one, then this is crazy.
It wasn't a Zeltic timeline video.
Oh my God.
Interesting.
There are very few video games that will have more videos dedicated to it than Zelda. Can we even can you think of any video games that might have more videos dedicated to it?
FNAF. I think it might be
FNAF,
up there.
really?
There's a lot of theory channels.
I mean,
FNAF.
Elder Scrolls has quite a long history of videos.
Yeah, that's
so I mean,
true,
because
that's true.
that dates back a long time, even to like forums. I mean, so does Zelda, but like Elder Scrolls has a really big
definitely.
Speaking of elders, Elden Ring, some of the Souls games, I'd say. Souls games have a lot of lore videos as well, a lot of theories to do with those.
But boys, finally, someone is talking about Zelda on YouTube. It's about time.
It's
about time, isn't it?
It took us 20 videos, 15 videos to get to this point, but I think we should start talking about Zelda.
I think you're right.
Do you know what? I think that's a good idea. I think that's a really good idea.
I think we've been missing it.
And I've got a great place to start. How about we start talking about Twilight Princess?
This one is something we've definitely talked about before. It involves a set of Zelda games, funny enough. And this was left on our art style video. Whoa. That is harsh on the Oracle games.
Oh, yeah.
And this is in reference to the art style of the Oracle games, because basically all of us bashed the art style heavily in that video, which was completely valid. Those games look atrocious.
If you go back to what Ed was saying, like one of the reasons we opened up this channel was to open up a discussion.
Of course.
Yes, okay. You can have the opinion that you believe that it's harsh what we said, but why is it? You know, what counter argument do you have to the Oracle games not being pretty? Because the thing is like, whether you like it or not, it was Capcom that made the Oracle games, and yes, they used Link's Awakening. They used Link's Awakening's art style as like a compass, and Link's Awakening, you know, heavily referenced Link to the Past. But like I say, Link's Awakening was released on the Game Boy, whereas Link to the Past was released on the SNES, so obviously it had a lot more limitations and was so you can justify Link's Awakening's ugliness a bit more because yes, it had a lot more limitations. But like I say, the Oracle games, that had the hindsight of both of those games and still became ugly. So like, I'd have to hear a very strong argument as to why that's harsh. You're trying to tell me I don't have eyes here.
It is I'd say it just is like it's worse than Zelda 2, which is really interesting.
Visually, I would 100% agree.
You know what? I'd not even thought about that. Yeah, I'd say so.
It genuinely is. I think
better looking. Yeah.
I'd say Zelda 2's actually got one of the better art styles of the two games, in my opinion.
I mean, I think
banging.
I think one of the things that like I should probably clarify whenever it comes to bashing Oracle's art style, I don't dislike the game itself. I think the dungeons are pretty alright. I think the puzzles are pretty good. The game itself is good. It's just visually speaking, it looks like pixelated puke. Yeah, it's horrible.
I think this might be my last comment that I've got today, and it's a more positive one. It's a more funny one, really. This is on my 95-minute Twilight Princess retrospective that came out last week. So this is why you didn't talk about Twilight Princess and the Cave Boys today.
Bro just had to get his thoughts out.
This is from Shepherd's Creek as well. So, from a member.
Very astute of you, Shepherd's Creek. Yes, like the 1 week, legitimately, that was the first week we genuinely didn't really mention Twilight Princess. Yeah. Ed drops a 90-minute essay about Twilight
You really had to get those thoughts out that didn't get released in the Cave Boys video.
Yeah, no, I had to make sure. I recorded that, scripted it, and edited it in one day.
Yeah, easy.
It was that quick. It was right after the Cave Boys recording. I just had to get it done.
He was sweating.
Yeah, I was like, oh mate, and they're not even releasing it on the Switch 2.
Bro was slamming his fist on the desk. We did fucking talk about Twilight Princess, boys.
And there we go, ladies and gentlemen. We've taken a look, not at Zelda itself, but rather you folks at home and what you have to say about various Zelda videos. Yeah, if you do like this video, make sure to like and comment,
and
because
like for the new cat. Like for the new cat.
You like for the cat, because if you like this video, we can always. This is something we can always do an episode 2. Well, we could do a series on this if you like it. If you like it enough. So let us know what you think down below, and thank you once again for joining us in the cave. Say goodbye, Jonathan.
Goodbye, everybody.
Bye-bye. The cat doesn't want to say bye. Sorry. Biscuit's, he's new, he's shy.
If you subscribe, then you'll get a goodbye from the cat. There you go.
Yeah. Okay. They'll even say it in the comments.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.